Hello, I'm Enzo, and today I'll be playing Azur Lane. And in this video, I'll be going over how to beat Renown META. And I mean beat 100% all health, without a supporting barrage. The first and most important part, of course, is my fleet. I'll be going over the gear of each individual ship. Let's start with New Jersey. This is my standard loadout for her. The Georgia Ultra Rare gun, maxed out. Secondary gun, I like this one. You're supposed to use an AP one, but it's whatever. This one gives a bunch of firepower. Anti-air for hit. I also changed it out for the firepower Royal Navy anti-air. And the rest is kind of just standard. Fire control radar, the Type 91 AP shell, and then the bow gun for firepower. For Musashi, we actually start out with the ultra rare fire control, which I gave to her because her main gun spread's a little bit crazy. AP shell, anti-air, Sakura secondary, if you don't have a Sakura main. But for her main, we actually chose to use the Izumo gun, just because it has a way quicker reload time, which makes it easier to sync it up with everything else. Besides that, this is a standard battleship layout for me. Like I was saying, the fire control, she really does need the decreased main gun spread because you will miss a lot of your shots if you don't have this or Vanguard skill. And speaking of, I actually used Vanguard in my fleet. Now, I changed her main gun later because Yamato's gun doesn't time very well. Royal Navy secondary, Royal Navy anti-air, and the cool new Royal Navy shell. As well as standard fire control radar, and that's about it. Bow gun as usual. Nothing changes too much. I also, of course, max them all out for maximum damage. The Royal Navy AP shell isn't too different from the other one, it just gives a little bit more crit damage. Ronstadt, I hope I don't pronounce her name horrifically, we have her main gun and Northern Parliament light cruiser gun. It's the most powerful you can get on her. Hydraulic steering gear and the Great Sword augment, but most importantly, Pearl's Tears. This is what will help get you through the battle. And the anti-air is for extra hit. Next up is Helena. Northern Parliament main gun, Sargenta secondary. You can use like a firepower anti-air instead. But most importantly, SG radar for her skill. And the elite damage control unit for survivability. And the crossbow augment for some extra firepower. For a gear, I used her main gun. These ultra rare torpedoes, which I actually swap out later, standard anti-air, then VH armor plating, and the hydraulic steering gear for a lot of survivability, and standard greatsword augment. Alright, I know that was a lot to take in, I'm sorry, but I didn't record too much of my gear loadouts. Okay, so how do you beat this boss? Well, first I should start by saying this is my battle. You'll see I have a supporting barrage. So, the most important thing to know about this battle is you kind of read the information. Who knew it would actually be really useful? So, if you see that there, what you're supposed to do is not actually attack the boss while she's preparing her shield, whatever it is. The whole point is to actually keep the shield, and so she gets way more powerful and deals a lot more damage, but she takes more damage. So, yeah, kind of double-edged sword. But as you can see here, I'm doing my best to avoid that and then fire everything I got once the preparation is over. Once that little bar goes away, then you can fire everything you have. And that's pretty much the gist of it. You have to be careful with this comp especially because I've broken the shield multiple times with A Gears and Ronstadt's barrages just by accident, which it completely ruins the run if you're trying to go for a full health life. This run was actually pretty good. Well, not really. The biggest issue was Vanguard's damage is terrible, and we only dealt this much because of the supporting barrage. I'm pretty sure if A Gear doesn't die here, we would have just completely wiped the boss. Potentially, yeah, she dies way too early here. But still, good first run, kind of an overview to show you what happened, and the damage is actually pretty good, except for Vanguard. Because she has the Yamato gun, the timing is off, and yeah. So she doesn't deal as much damage as she would if she had good timing with Helena's radar. Alright, so for the second battle, I keep using A Gear's magnetic torpedoes. Now, I didn't break it here. Yeah, I get close a lot, but if you don't break that first shield, or any of the other ones, and you get Helena's radar scans, you're pretty good. That's the other thing I kind of forget to leave out. This battle is completely RNG. You need Helena. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it without Helena and with a different comm, but Helena is going to be your main damage dealer, even if it doesn't show it. Because radar scan makes them take way more damage. It's like 40%. But yeah, so for this one, it goes pretty good too, but the lack of Helena scans is what makes us lose. Renown META takes more damage as the fight goes on if you let her do all her preparations. So if you get late scans, it might be a bit better, but as you can see, your main fleet is usually damaged and they usually sink before they can fire their final barrages. Now here, near the end, Helena almost always dies. I gave her the elite damage control so that she has at least a few seconds of more survivability, so she can potentially get one last scan off. And then Azur Gear is always going to be the last one standing, thanks to being in the backmost position and thanks to Ronstadt's Pearl's Tears. But from all of these, combat finished screens I'm showing, you can see I deal an insane amount of damage. It's pretty amazing compared to the rest of the people I see. So midway between doing all these battles, this is between 2 days, I learned that I should just equip every ship with a firepower anti-air. Because there's no anti-air in this battle, and hit doesn't matter. So just give them the most firepower you can. This is just like the other battles. So I'm not going to talk about how she attacks or anything like that. That's kind of something you have to learn on your own. With this comp, I made it specifically so that I could tank as much as possible. Now, you may notice it's a little weird that I have Musashi as my main. She's not supposed to be in your main spot, but she has 11k health. I think it's like 11,500, somewhere around there. So that allows her to tank the most out of any other ship. I also, oddly enough, have Vanguard. Why did I not use any other ship? This is only because of her extra damage skill. It's kind of like Helena's, but it's a permanent 10% damage increase. Now, the flip side is Vanguard's absolute trash. I missed the barrage there, but still, she does insanely low damage. But I mean, increased damage, it should make up for it, but she still gets nowhere close to, say, Musashi or New Jersey levels of damage. So yeah, after this run, I kind of figured out you do have to swap her gun, for proper timing of course, so that you can get some more damage in with Helena's radar scan. But besides that, this is still a great run, considering, yet again, I deal more damage than I see other people do. I've only seen above 1 million twice in all the help I've gotten. So this was an extremely close battle, and I should probably start explaining my fleet. I've seen a bunch of other like carrier Nagato fleets, but I hate them all, because you have to give Nagato extra survivability. The beauty of this fleet is it's so tanky. You have New Jersey, Musashi, Vanguard. Just like an insanely tanky main fleet. For my Vanguard, I have Azur Gear, Ronstadt, and Helena. Azur Gear and Ronstadt are huge tanks, and Ronstadt has Pearl Tears, which heals the rest of the fleet. Ronstadt also has a healing skill, but it takes way too long to heal enough health, so she's almost guaranteed to sink early on. Helena, of course, has a bit extra survivability with the elite damage control unit, but besides that, that's it. Sometimes I guess you could have a healer in your fleet. I mean, it's very specific though. If anything, I say at least have Pearl Tears in your fleet. That's one of the easiest ways to do better in these battles. Besides that though, I don't really have much advice. I kind of just stumbled upon this fleet after a lot of hard work and trying different odd comps. The only other thing I can think of is replacing Helena with Kashina, because of her firepower increase if you equip the 40cm guns. So I'm definitely going to try that. I just have to level her up first. Besides that, you might have noticed that I equipped A-Gear with the Royal Navy torpedoes, the ones that fire in a straight line. That is one of the things that actually helped me beat this battle. I was extremely excited at this huge amount of damage, like 1.4 million. It's pretty insane. I was so insanely close this attempt. But don't worry, in my next clip, I will beat the boss, I promise. Okay, so I'll admit, I only have one of the ultra rare Georgia main gun. This is my other AP go-to. It's the Sargenta, really weird semi-armor piercing. Now, it's insanely good only for bosses, because normal armor piercing can pierce up to 2 enemies. Semi-armor piercing can only pierce 1, so keep that in mind. Here, I got insanely close to breaking the shield, which could ruin the run easily, but I didn't. Besides that, Vanguard's new semi-armor piercing kinda does damage. It's basically the only gun I've found so far that makes her decent. I'm pretty close to getting a Georgia main gun again, so I can give that to Vanguard. That's gonna be her main, but for now, this is what I use. Besides that, every battle is literally the same. I'm kind of just talking to make it a little bit better. I don't have game sound or voices on for copyright issues. And besides that, this battle really goes well. I will tell you one thing though. It is literally down to the last second. It's an insanely difficult battle. Of course, you still have to dodge, and I learned this beam attack, you're supposed to kind of counter and go through it quicker than, standing in it. Yeah, I'm a genius. I figured that out way too late. As the battle goes on though, you can see how the timer usually matches the health. It gets really close every single time. But the few times I've managed to do this, it's kind of beautiful. So A-Gear's the last alive, and I need to keep her alive. If I can get these last few battleship barrages off, and it's insanely lucky New Jersey lived here, and literally down to the last second. A-Gear is almost dead, and here it is. There is no supporting barrage. This is a complete 100-0 wipe. And yeah, New Jersey carried us here. Crits are also a huge part of your RNG. I mean, I was extremely excited after I got this one. It's actually my second. This is my first. I didn't use New Jersey's Oath outfit. Don't know how family friendly that is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this kind of helps you beat the boss a little bit better using my comp. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys love Azur Lane, can you tell me? Because I don't know if people want to see more Azur Lane or not. I'm an amazing player at it, and I can teach a lot about the game. Anyways, this is Enzo from LookIntoGaming, signing out.